winter has arrived in the UK and in Yorkshire.
What's your story? What's your sign? It's like we're twin flames in a different life. Deep connection lights a spark. It's like you know me in the depths of my heart. We're dreamers, don't care what other people say. We live it like this could be our final day.
Welcome back to my channel. How the devil are you all doing? As you saw from the opening, winter has definitely arrived here in the UK and in Yorkshire, a good old Yorkshire. It is dark mornings, it is flooded bits, it's cold. It's the start of, we can do it, the worst season for equestrians ever. It's where we all have to kind of be everybody's emotional support, the mud, the thing. Yeah, it's just not a nice season. And you know, where I'm all here to show on my channel that it's not about your matchy sets, because the reality is we don't wear them. Sorry to spoil the ethos that some people like to create, but we don't wear them. Well, I definitely don't on a daily basis. If you do and you've got like full livery, hats off, you're killing it. But I think I speak for most equestrians when I say we don't have that amount of cash lying about, because costs a bit of coin. Like it's a lot of money. Anyway, this week's video is just a catch up. It's just to see how you all are, show you what I've been doing with the girls, and I'm going to do their first clip as well. So the joy of winter means that they both need clipping. Molly is more fluffier than P, to be honest. So I thought what I'd do, I'd give you a bit of a catch up of what they've been up to this week, because I know people like to see how their training's going. The videoing is a little bit static, not dynamic this week, because my beautiful daughter has had school. So, you know, education is at the forefront of everyone's mind, and I can't be dragging her out to... She's homeschooled, but I still can't be dragging her out to film me when she should be working. So there's a little bit static, but I'll do a bit of a voiceover and show you what we've been up to. And then I thought what I'll do is, it's Saturday at the moment, the Saturday before the Wednesday this will go out, I will clip the girls, and I put on my Instagram a bit back about questions people had like answered, and I thought, well, I'll clip them and do a bit of a Q&A with you all, so you can, you know, we can get to know each other a bit better. So yeah, that's the plan. And I need to exercise my ponies. They're in at the moment because the fields are horrific. I'll show you the fields. But I get paranoid about Molly in particular is a bit high maintenance, so I need to make sure that they either have, well, they'll have hand grazing later, but they need to be just ridden out after their clip today, just to get their guts and digestive systems moving. Anyway, that's enough waffle to open this vlog. So here is my week in, what will I say? My week in videos, my week in short, my catch up. Enjoy. Started with a little bit of lunging. So this is P, and what I'm trying to do on the lunge now is get her to work more balanced in her canter. So I put this in on a regular training schedule now. She's got a basic balance rein on there, which is relatively loose. It's just helping her search for the contact down, and therefore makes her work a little bit better than if she hasn't got it on. So it's trying to get her to engage herself and engage her hind. And I think you'll realise with P that actually she is cracking on and looking fabulous. Molly next, and she's going to do exactly the same exercise that I did with P, but here you can see how much more P is a little bit more advanced than Molly is. Molly's canter is not as established as P's is on the lunge and she is a little bit unbalanced. She needs to learn to engage herself a little bit more. She's got exactly the same balance rein on as P. P's just done this more often. Molly's just coming back into this now with her having more time off than obviously what P had. And I think it's good to show the difference because Molly is really struggling there, and yeah, she'll get there, but she's just taking a little bit more time. And here, just trying to relax her in the trot and getting her to search that contact down, which Molly really does struggle with. She doesn't like to work necessarily correctly, obviously, because this, going around like this, is a little bit easier. Did a schooling session with both girls. Again, I'm doing the very same thing with each one, and now I'm trying to get P to work a little bit more. So I'm asking a little bit more for her now in the sessions. All this session was working on walk and trot, making sure the transition was good, and now teaching her to come into a contact and to remain in that contact. So I'm asking her to kind of find herself down and push forward from behind. So she does find it incredibly difficult. As you can see there in the transition, she just came above the bridle a little bit there because it's just a bit easier. But she's starting to look rather smart. Look at that. I think that's a lovely frame for her. A little bit high. Maybe she could do with stretching down a little bit more. But on the whole, I was super happy with P. What I'm learning when I'm riding P is the more you keep her brain engaged, so the more you're asking her to do things, the more she gives you, and she stops with kind of looking elsewhere and looking for other things to spook at or anything like that. You've got to keep P with you, engaged, keep her brain working, and she is starting to look super smart. There she goes. I'm just correcting her every time she goes above the bridle to say, no, this is where I want you. And when she gives me the correct contact, then I maintain that contact, but I relax a little bit with my arms so she can take it forward. That was a better transition into the trot. And I did nothing else but just work on this upward and downward transition. There I'm just asking her to go, nope, you can be a little bit more rounder than that, P. And she is learning what is kind of expected from her. And I've started doing a little bit of lateral work with P as well. So turn on the hind, turn on the forehand, getting her to cross over her back legs, which I think I've got a little section coming up shortly where I'm just getting her to understand what that is, what I'm expecting of her. And I think as soon as she does kind of like one step over effectively, then she's allowed to kind of work on. Here I am just doing a smaller circle and trying to get a little bit to push out towards the fence line. So I'm using my inside leg to outside rein and just trying to get that little bit of flexibility for her. Here's a little starts of the lateral work. So that is one cross. Well done, Pod. And we finished the session with a rein back. So I've also always found this really useful, and ensuring that a correct rein back is done there. She's just starting to step back. Beautiful. Well done, Pod. That was a great session. Molly is up next, and again I think it's great to compare the two because you can see which stage each one is at, but also for me I can see where they need to improve and what bits I want to work on. Molly doesn't necessarily, she's still learning what a contact is and what I'm expecting for her. So she does, you know, because obviously your contact comes from the leg, from the impulsion as well, to push him into the contact. So Molly struggles sometimes in her walk because she thinks I wanted to go forward, and we're working on that. So I've got a longer rein with Molly, and I'm just wanting her to stretch down more. As you saw from the lunging, Molly likes more of a giraffe frame, shall we say, and she does find it difficult. She's got to build up their muscles. I think it's very important to say, particularly with these girls who are 4 and 5, that these are in short bursts. So as you see this, as it's recording, these girls have breaks in between where they're allowed to stretch down, because otherwise, you know, they just don't have the muscle at the moment to kind of hold it for very long periods of time. But I was really impressed with how Molly was super trying. And yep, she's not necessarily at the stage that P's at the moment, but she gives it her best go. And there we're just trying to do a bit of a halt on the other rein and just mirroring exactly the same exercise. And I think she's getting there. I think Molly, with having a time off from injury, yeah, and that's all I recorded this week for the exercising. I was going to set it all up outside to clip, and the rain is consistent. And so I don't think it's going to make, I was going to put a pivo up and everything. I just don't think it's going to make amazing viewing, and I don't want the horses to get wet. So we're going to clip in the stables, and we're going to start with P. Now I have desensitised these girls beforehand. They have been clipped. They've been in the racing world, which usually means they have definitely seen clippers before. However, I'm taking all precautions. I will tie them up in their stable, and we'll take it steady with them, which is why I can probably answer some of your questions while I'm going. So, what equipment do I use to clip? Disclaimer, because I know there's so many people out there. I do not do this for a living. Horses are my hobby. My clips are functional. They are practical. They are not the prettiest, and I don't care really, because they do the job. So people out there, none of questions, be kind of like, why do you cut all the hair off in the winter? It's for sweating, etc. So when you're working your horses, they are better clipped, so the sweat can evaporate rather than stick onto the coats when it's cold and damp. I clip specifically to the work that my horses are doing, so I don't take the whole hair off, because they'll not need it this year. They're not doing that amount of work, so I'm just going to literally give them, like, I don't know if it's called like an Irish clip or a bed clip. I call it a neck clip. So I basically just take the neck off, and it will just alleviate, give them some air when they're working. One thing that did used to piss me off when I was at livery yards was people that would clip their horses and then never ride them. Like, if you're not going to ride them, I know clipping looks nice and we all like to go, oh, it's clipping season. If you're not going to ride them, why bother? Like, who likes clipping? Because you get covered in little frickin' hairs. And don't leave your pony coat on, my friends. Just do it. Right. Oh, equipment. Again, not hashtag gifted, because I am not that privileged, nor do I like being QVC. But I use Liveryman. These are the Harmony clippers. I have got some big beasts up there that I used to use on the boys, but the girls don't need it. So trimmers, clippers, oil, hot clothing. Let's go. This is the podder we're going to start with first, because she's a little bit more of the nervy one. So she's not usually tied up in a stable, so I'm just going to tie her up, give her a bit of positive reinforcement, and say, it's all right, mates. Nothing's going to happen. Oh, at least that works. So I'm paranoid about them pulling back and taking my stables, so at least that worked. Needs to be a bit stronger though. Hang on, we're back. Right, so we're just going to oil my clippers up. And literally we pause. It's alright, sweetheart. I'm just going to go down her neck. So I'm going to try and start with a line first. Okay. It's alright. Good girl. Good girl. Good girl. Just stand here for a second. So, first question. Somebody asked why thoroughbreds? Just the cheap, my friends. I actually wanted a nice Irish sports horse, but couldn't afford one. So I got some beautiful exracers in Reginald. Good girl. You're probably not even that fluffy, my friend. Oh, I'm going to change the clippers. I don't like that. The rest are the best laid plans. Right, we're going on to the trimmers, which I have done. I used to do mow with these all over. Not going to lie, it's a pain in the arse, but we'll give it a go. Good girl. Better, Poddy.
You don't think before you act. There's something really off about that. Can't you see the problem with just caring about you?
It's a work in progress. Pod is incredibly sensitive around her face, which is interesting. Right, I'm gonna let Pod have 5 minutes just to chill her beans. One of the questions somebody asked me was, why did I start the YouTube channel? Well, apart from making memories, and I'm so grateful now because I've got the memories of the boys who are no longer here. Also, I think I don't represent what is usually on YouTube and social media. So I am over 40. I don't do this for a living. I don't have 1,000,001 sponsors. I'm a true amateur. And so I think somebody once asked me what, for me, if I think of Instagram, what one word does it give me? Or social media in general, and it's inadequate. So I think it's a great place to show your journey and stuff like that, but I think we can be too busy comparing others. So I wanted to create a channel where it was very real, and I still won't do, unless somebody wants to give me a horse box. I always say that's the only exception. I won't do the QVC. Look at what I bought today, because I can't afford them, and I don't want to. This is why I'll never be rich, because I don't want to promote things out there that I know people will strive to think that they need when actually you don't need them at all. So yeah, I wanted to keep it real. A real channel where you've got a scruffy t-shirt on, a hat your mum bought you, and your couple of £100 ponies that you're trying to go eventing. And I will go eventing next year, won't we? We will get to Chatsworth. So P was getting a little bit upset and uptight, and I definitely couldn't answer any of your questions. So I've left her for 5 minutes. I'm going to have a go with Mole. Let's see. She's usually the braver one.
Maybe you should try to do something for someone else. You gotta give a little, just to get a little. Gotta give a little, just to. There's something about you. You don't care about what you do. You gotta give a little, just to get a little.
Say, Molly restored my faith in clipping ponies because she has just stood like an absolute rock to do that. Like, she amazes me all the time, this mare. This mare had so much going against her. We'll tell your true story one day, won't we? I love you. I love you. So, ooh, missed a bit. 1 second. Literally. Another question time. Right, Moles. Question was, what horse would I have if I didn't have thoroughbreds? I mean, I love thoroughbreds now. They are kind of my brand as such. But I would pay good money for a nice Irish sports, like Obi. If you see Heebie Jeebies eventing with Obi, he'd be my kind of man. Missed a bit. Bit of hot coffee, which is just warm water and a nice, I think I've got a naff wash off, and it just gets all the little hairs off, doesn't it, Moz? You look like a smart pony. Again, I'll show you the clip, but she's just had the neck took off because there's no point keeping her any colder than she needs to be. Girl. I am, however, going to put a rug back on. So this is my gorgeous clipped girl. Molly, you're the star. Come on. So I don't know if you can see her, she's dark, but just the neck off, head. Yeah. Let a bit of hair through, Moles. Won't it, love? And I'm pleased with that. So I had a vision for this clipping video, which would literally be like, I'm answering your questions and clipping like I see all the other very professional vlogs do. My ponies just don't seem to do that. So Molly was excellent, answered a few questions there. Poddy, I've had to put in the land of Nod, unfortunately, to finish her clip off. She's had exactly the same clip as Molly. A little bit further, hang on, I'll put you there. A little bit further down for her sweat, but she just wasn't tolerating finishing the clip off. And you get to that point, I hate doing this, but you get to that point where actually that's kinder to her than to push on with it. And I know I could have left it, but literally it was so patchy. it had to be done. So, things to note, we need to work on P with the clippers, because they're literally just trimmers. Get the big boys out. On my days. Anyway, I'm going to take Molly for a little spin around the block now, because she needs to keep her guts moving, and I might take P later, because I have to wait now till P wakes up, because she can't have food or anything like that until she is fully compos mentis. Anyway, hope you enjoyed that little update, and yeah, tune in next week where we will look at, I don't know what we'll look at, I never say it anymore, do I? It's just a weekly update. It's like just following our journey, following our lives in what we do. I'll leave you on a point where we had a lake appeared because of the rain, and so I thought this would be an ideal opportunity to get some water training in. Never one to miss. Like, turn everything into a positive. Never want to miss an opportunity. So I put both girls through our new water complex, and they were, well, see for yourself, but I think this is really promising. I honestly believe now, I'm manifesting it. I have two amazing potential eventers on my hands. Catch you next week. Pod will have woken up and we'll be back on the journey. See you later.
Never found somewhere I fit in. Until I met you, I was feeling lost. But you're the one who can make it go away.